Over the course of exploring manifestations and the law of attraction, you must have encountered the term New Thought Movement. This might have tickled your interest to know something new, or you got curious about it. Well, if that's you, this video will be a treat for you. Today, let us get to know the New Thought Movement, prosperity gospel, and the connection they have with manifestations. But before we get into that, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you can get notified every time we post something new. Now that's settled, let's get right into today's food for thought. During the 19th century, a movement based on religious and metaphysical presuppositions started in the United States. This is what we know now as the New Thought Movement. Their primary goal was to assist people in truly understanding divine mysteries and tapping into its power through the power of their thoughts. It is called the New Thought Movement because it refers to your thoughts as the key to living a better life. A life not limited by constraints of religious doctrines or dogmas. This movement is composed of people with different views and styles of life, so their members are almost unclassifiable just based on numbers. They represent people from any and every walk of life, hence the reach across the world. As a matter of fact, many of them still identify as Christians, despite the many questions on their relation to Christianity. Currently, the movement spreads its influence best through the many platforms they have access on. These include lectures, journals, and books, not only in the United States, but also in the United Kingdom, continental Europe, Asia, Africa, and Australia. But who do we trace this movement to? Phineas Parkhurst Quimby, a clockmaker from Portland, Maine, presented philosophical ideas that claim we have the power to cure illnesses through our minds. This is what the movement believes. Quimby had a strong conviction on how our diseases come from whatever we have in our mind. He believed that redirecting your thoughts can cure any disease. Through this, Quimby was able to treat many people with the diseases that they suffer from. He had a student named Mary Baker Eddy, who later on became the founder of Christian Science, which is a religious movement that came into existence during the mid-19th century. Eddy learned things from her mentor, but decided to distance herself from Quimby as a way to pursue her own goals. She wanted to put more focus on reforming the errors she had noticed within Christianity. Eddy was very important in the movement since she was the one who introduced them to the belief that our minds have the power to restore health as well as cure illnesses. The focus of the New Thought movement had turned away from treating illness by the 1890s. It placed more emphasis on the ability of the mind to generate material achievement. Beryl Satter, a historian, notes, "The focus placed by New Thought on gaining personal affluence coincided with ideas related to the Gilded Age of the late 19th century. Popular literature, like the Horatio Alger novels, focused on how hard work allowed disadvantaged lads to succeed financially. Now that we have a basic understanding of where it all started, it is important to know the teachings of this movement too. Although it will be difficult to just summarize their beliefs into a couple of words, their origin and their declaration of principles can tell you enough information about the movement's core teachings. Here are some of them. There is an infinite intelligence or God that is omnipresent and omnipotent and the source of all creation. The spirit is the ultimate reality, while the material world is a projection of the mind. Mental states are carried forward to become manifestations of daily human living experience. Divinity dwells within each person, and all people are spiritual beings. The highest spiritual principle is to love unconditionally. Being attuned with the divine thoughts is a source of power for good. The right thoughts have a healing power. Aside from those things, one of the concepts closely tied to the New Thought movement is the prosperity gospel. This revolves around the movement's ideas on individual happiness and wealth. To be more specific, it is a belief that religious faith can lead one to personal health and material health. This started during the early 20th century and has Jesus as a guide to economic success. A proof of the spread of this belief was the publication of a 1925 book by Bruce Barton, The Man Nobody Knows. Barton, a Republican lawmaker and former advertising executive, described Jesus as the model for the contemporary corporate executive. He summarized Jesus' mission as, he picked up 12 men from the bottom ranks of business and forged them into an organization that conquered the world. Barton's portrayal of Jesus as a prosperous businessman emphasizes how the New Thought philosophy undermines traditional Christianity. Furthermore, historian Kate Bowers states that Christian salvation was not expressed in this movement, but instead it is seen as an act imposed by God from above, but rather an act of drawing out humanity's potential. Essentially, the prosperity gospel is the belief that having money and being well is always God's plan for them, and that one's material wealth will increase as a result of their faith, good deeds, and charitable giving. That's it for today's video. You can leave any of your questions, suggestions, or reactions in the comments section below. We'd love to hear from you. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can get notified whenever a new video is up. Until next time, thank you for watching.